Hi everybody, happy Monday. I hope you had an amazing weekend. Welcome to this episode of Monday Masters, where we help you understand the Kokoist line just a little bit better every week. Today we are going to be talking about brushes. Now this is a conversation that everybody wants to have because we do have a pretty expansive collection of brushes. They're all super high quality. So we're going to go into kind of the backstory of our brushes, why they are, how they are, and I've narrowed it down to like my top 10 brushes here because I know there's a lot, but these are definitely some investment pieces. So hopefully a little bit more information on my top 10 will give you a little bit more information on the ones that maybe you'd like to invest in first. So when you get a Kokoist brush in the mail, you're gonna see they come on these cute little placards. Now take a look closely. This is a Kokoist brush, this is a nail flats brush. Both of them have that little gold seal with the X across it, and you can see some Japanese lettering on it. Now this is the seal of Kumo, and it's there for a reason. Underneath where it has the Japanese lettering on that gold Kumano seal, you see the word Kumano Fude. Kumano Fude means made in Kumano. Kumano is a very small town in Japan that is world-renowned for award-winning calligraphy grade brushes. So when Coco was looking for the best, she wanted to make the best line of brushes she possibly could. She went to Kumano and she created the Kokoist line of Kumano Fude brushes. This is how you know that even though these are a little bit of an investment piece, they are high quality and they're going to go a long way for you as long as you take very good care of them. So out of the entire collection of brushes that I have, I narrowed it down to 10, and I'm going to go over these in no particular order. I could not choose a favorite, but I'm going to tell you about how I use all of these, why I use all of these, and why these ones are so active in my arsenal. I'll start with the kind of paddle-shaped brushes. I'm going to start with the flat brush. First of all, a little shout out to our brush caps. These are these silicone brush caps. They're amazing. They don't go anywhere. They never move. They never come off your brush. They keep your brushes nice and safe. And you can buy these brush caps in, I think it's like a 5-pack on the website if you want to pick up some extra ones for your other brushes. Really love these brush caps. So let's take a look at the flat brush. This is one of our classics for sure. It's a nice kind of rectangular shape, nice points, very straight, a good length, not too long or anything. I really like using this brush for my overlays. So when I'm working with builder gels, I like it because I can pick up a good amount of product. I can float my bead over the natural nail using the kind of body of my brush. But then what I can do is I can take my brush and turn it on its side like that and almost use it like a liner brush. Use the corner of my flat brush to kind of pick up smaller areas where I might not be able to get it with the body of the brush and kind of touch and manipulate my builder gel around in the same way that I would use a liner brush to do. So that's why I like using the flat brush for my builder gels, but if you want to use this to paint your actual nail with gel colors, that is absolutely an acceptable form of use for this brush as well. Next up is the round brush, which is actually one of our most popular brushes. It's actually up for an award right now. If you guys want to go and vote for it on the Nail Pro website, we would totally appreciate that. This round brush has obviously a nice round shape, the same kind of length as the flat brush, but doesn't have those corners, has that nice kind of ovally vibe. I really like using this for painting our potted gel colors with. I like that the round shape, I can fan it out a little bit when I get around the cuticle area. I kind of can use it to create that really nice perimeter to get that really nice smooth application of my gel colors. Next up, we have the Nail Thoughts application brush, which, first of all, it's an adorable color. We love that. And it's kind of a happy medium between the flat brush and the round brush. It is a bit of a square shape, but it's got kind of a rounded corner, kind of like a school bowl shape. So it'll give you kind of the best of both worlds. It's a little bit more of a specialty shape. I really like this, and I like having it for kind of both reasons. I can do my applications with my overlays, and I can also use it for color application as well. Number 4 on this list is the thin round brush. So this is a Kokoist brush. It is a rounded shape. It is much thinner. You can see it's very skinny, and it's also shorter. This brush is very springy. It's got a lot of kind of bounce to it when you're painting with it. I really like using this to actually apply my glitter gel colors because, for one, because it is a little bit slimmer, it's a little bit less of a body, so there's less hair in this actual brush, or less PBT fibers, I should say. It's much easier to clean the glitter out of this brush, as well as it's very easy to kind of press down and get a really nice flat application with those glitters. Okay, so those are my favorite application brushes. Let's talk about some art brushes now. First up here is our angular brush. So the angular brush it's a square shape, but it's got a 45-degree angle on the tip. This is what in Japanese techniques they use to do ombres as well as French manicures. So if you're ever curious about those, you can check out our double certification classes. You'll learn a lot of those really cool techniques in there. I really like using this for doing one for flower petals because you have a really nice pointed shape and you can use it to create some very cool kind of thick and thin textures when you're making those petals. Or if I'm doing kind of like a grungy style manicure and I want to do those kind of painterly brush strokes and get all kinds of texture on the nail, because this doesn't end in a blunt shape, it ends at that kind of angle. When you're doing those kind of brush strokes, you get a very cool kind of finish that's a little bit raw and kind of grungy and weird looking. So that's why I really like using this guy. Next up is the pointed brush. Now, I reach for this brush quite often. It is a nice pointed end, but it's got a fatter kind of belly to it, so it holds a good amount of weight of product. So if you were doing things like maybe textural 3D designs where you're applying chrome, this is where I reach for this brush a lot. I will use this brush to pick up a lot of our no-wipe accessory bond and create really cool textures on top of the nail before curing it and applying chrome on top of it. This is a great way of getting those kind of 3D kind of mermaid wave unicorn textures. It's also very handy if you want to put some alcohol on this brush and use it to manipulate alcohol inks. It's got that belly so it will hold a bit of alcohol, but it's got that nice point so you can be very precise with where you are manipulating your inks to create those really beautiful kind of marbly textures. Okay, this brush is my right hand right here. This I will use on pretty much any design that I'm working with. This is going to be the brush that I reach for first. This is the Kokoist Long Liner Brush. Now this one's actually up for a Nail Pro Award as well, Best Art Tool. If you guys want to go and vote for it, we would so appreciate it. It is just that perfect length, long liner brush. We have shorter, we have longer. This is my happy medium. This is the liner brush I reach for every single time. If you're going to invest in one, this would be the one to start with. If I'm hand painting lines, thin lines, thick lines, if I'm doing designs, leopard print, anything like that, you can bet 9 times out of 10 that the long liner brush is going to be the one that's in my hand. And if it's not the long liner, it's our needle liner brush. Now this is, how can I show you this? It's the teeny tiniest little brush. It is the smallest liner brush that we have in our collection. It is little itty bitty and super duper skinny. So if you're getting those minute details, especially if you're doing things like character art, the needle liner brush is so microscopic. You'll be able to get those itty bitty little corner details. You'll be able to get the eyelash on every single eye. The needle liner is the one you're going to go for. The last brush in this list that I'm going to show you is kind of an unsung hero, but surprisingly I reach for it quite a bit. It is the small tap brush. So it is a very, very small kind of cylindrical shape with a very, very flat edge. So it looks like a little cylinder, really, with a flat brush. So it's really great for stippling if you want to create kind of like grungy, almost like spray painty texture. What I really like using this for is if I do clouds, I'll use this to kind of disperse and kind of blend out the bottom of the clouds, or if you just want to add a little bit of color in a particular situation in something like a marble or something like a, you know, like that blendy, color blocky kind of vibe. The small tap brush is definitely very, very handy for that. The small tap one is the only brush in my collection that I will actually keep dry and keep it kind of cleansed with alcohol. I'll condition it a little bit every now and then to keep it in its nice shape, but most of the time I keep it with nothing on so I can get that really cool texture. Any of my other brushes I am keeping conditioned with my Kokoist brush cleaning gel. If you are going to go through the trouble of investing in your brushes, I highly recommend that you maintain and invest in a way to keep your brushes in good condition. The brush cleaning gel is the way to do that. This one is really great. It helps to pull all of the color out of your brushes in a very safe way without using drying things like alcohol or acetone. It can stay in the bristles and it's not going to fray them or have them kind of split on you. It's going to keep them in a nice shape, but it also contains no photo initiators, which means this gel will never cure inside your brush. Much safer than using a base coat. So there you have it, my top 10 brushes that I keep in my arsenal to do all of my designs and applications. This is definitely my personal favorite list. You guys might have different favorites, or you might be using these brushes for something different than I choose to use them. These are your tools, this is your arsenal, this is what you use to create your art. So you can take everything that I say with a grain of salt, and if you want to use different brushes or the same brushes for different reasons, I totally respect that. As always, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, we have the comments down below. Feel free to drop your questions in there, and I'll do my very best to get back to you. And as always, I hope you have an amazing work week, and we will see you right back here for another episode of Monday Masters. Have a good one.